In this video we're going to look at how to set out wall tiles. Now, just in the same way as floor tiles, before we just jump right in and start sticking these on the wall, it's worth investing a little bit of time thinking about the layout, that's the pattern of how they all fit together, and the setting out. And all that means is where we start them, left and right, which will dictate where this joint is and how it interacts with things like doors and corners, and up and down, which will fix that horizontal joint and how it interacts with the floor or the ceiling or maybe under a windowsill. Before we decide on the setting out though, we do need to fix the tile layout. You see, unless we know the tile layout, we don't know where the joints are going to lie. So I'm just laying out different patterns here on a board on my workbench. You can do it on the floor if you want. I just find it easier doing it here standing up. Or there's an even easier way of doing it, and that's using the tile visualizer on the Tile Warehouse website, which will show you what your particular tile will look like laid in different patterns. But once you've received the real thing, I would also recommend laying them out and trying the different styles just like I have here, just to make sure you're happy with the pattern that you've chosen. So after trying different patterns from linear to basket weave and herringbone, I finally decided on this brick bond pattern, which is quite traditional with these metro type tiles. So now I've fixed the pattern, I can look at how to set these out on the wall. A great tip here is to first make a gauge rod, sometimes called a story stick or a story pole, which helps you see the layout of the tiles without having to keep measuring. And all it is a stick with the joints marked accurately on it, including the gap between each tiles for the grout. All I do is to transfer the joints on the tiles to the stick accurately, so I can offer it up to the wall and then see where the joints are going to fall. So what I've marked on this gauge rod is each tile accurately, and because I know that I'm going to do a brick bond pattern, I've also marked on the alternating courses. So now I can see exactly where each joint is going to lie on every single course. And because my tiles are 200mm by 100mm, I can also use this vertically to mark out the horizontal courses and exactly where they're going to end up. Next, I'm going to mark the centre of the wall and the centre of any important features such as this window, so I can offer up the rod to see where the tile joints are going to end up. I'm doing this for two reasons. Firstly, so I don't end up with small slithers of tile in the corner, and secondly, for a feature like this window, I think it's going to look better if the tiles are centred on it so it all looks symmetrical. You also need to do the same for the vertical layout of your tiles as well. And remember, don't assume your floor is dead level. Quite often floors are not level and they can rise and fall in different areas. So avoid the temptation to simply start your wall tiles sitting on the floor, because you may find you end up with wavy rows, which is never a good look. To overcome this, start your wall tiling with the second row from the bottom sitting on a batten that's screwed to the wall that you know is straight and level. Once these are fixed and cured, then take the batten away and pop in the bottom row. For this job you'll need a tape measure, a spirit level, some wooden battens for the gauge rod and to support the bottom row of tiles, and something to cut them and fix them to the wall. So I hope that helps give you some tips on how to set out wall tiles and get yourself going. Enjoy your project, and I will see you in the next video.